Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Leonie Hunter, and here I share my experiences on business, lifestyle, and self-care in hopes that it will help you grow in business and in life in general. And today I'm going to share my top 8 must-do things before opening your warehouse or storefront. Now, I'm not a complete expert in this, but I am just sharing what I've learned in this whole process in hopes it helps keep you from some of the snags that I had to hit in opening up my warehouse. Please take a listen and just hopefully it helps you out, because I needed to hear this before I opened up my warehouse. All right. First thing, celebrate, because you did the damn thing. You got a warehouse or a storefront. Like, that is a big moment. So let's celebrate for that. I'm gonna take some Prosecco and we're about to toast to the moment. There we go. Cheers to us, to you for getting a storefront or a warehouse or whatever it is. Even if you don't have it yet and you're thinking about it, you're watching this video because you want to know, congratulations. Now that we got that out the way, the next thing you need to do is set up your main functions in your warehouse or storefront. I'm talking about your racking, your kiosk, your break room. Get all of that stuff set up, get it exactly the way you want it. Even if you change it later, you just need to get that stuff out the way, because it's going to save you so much time and headache once you start getting busy and you start getting clients. Even if you have clients now, it will pick up because you're expanding. Obviously, you're moving into a warehouse, you're moving into a storefront, you're putting your business out there in a different way. So you want to make sure that all of the functionality of the space is set, so you don't have to be worried about that later. Next, plan for lag. Now, if you're like me, you like to plan everything to the T. Like, you know what you're going to do when, but you have to put in lag, because so many things happened, me putting together my warehouse, that required me to just have more time and wait for things to come through. Not to any fault of my own, but because other companies had delays or short staffed or whatever the case is. Especially in this time where systems are trying to get back in motion, it's really important to plan for lag, for your deliveries to be late, for your handyman or whatever to reschedule. There's just something that may happen. It's most likely to go not according to plan. So plan to have space for when things don't go according to plan. Number 4, subscribe to pest control. That is really important. Even if your space is located in a very pristine, clean, newer area, you never know the type of critters or things that are around, especially if it's actually a new build. All that dirt being dug up can get some things live and active. So make sure you get pest control so that you won't have any scary moments pop up. Now, I got pest control, and maybe this is how they normally work, but I still had bugs coming in, but they were dead, and they were just like dead in my entryway. So that was was not my favorite thing, but I'm glad that I got pest control, so that I'm assured that when I go deep into my warehouse and I'm pulling out furniture and I'm taking things on and off of racks, that I'm not afraid something's going to come and jump out at me or crawl on me. Ugh. So yeah, make sure you get pest control. That's a major point right there, okay? Another major point is to install an alarm. Now, this is something you may already know to do, but it's something that is an important step not to skip, especially if it's a warehouse or a storefront, something that is tangible and easy for people to go and just break into. So make sure you have an alarm so that you keep your assets protected, you keep your inventory or whatever else you have protected, you keep all of your equipment protected. Make sure you get security system. In addition to getting an alarm system, I would recommend getting security cameras. We're going to get security cameras installed in our space soon. And it's not just to catch thieves or burglars or something like that, but if anything unsavory happens on the property, we'll have a record of it. So I'm not able to be at my warehouse all the time, but my team can be at the warehouse getting prepared for a stage. And I just want to make sure everything is happening the way it should happen. Say there's a workman's comp claim that comes up or something like that. Somebody got hurt, a sofa fell on them. Having that recorded is important so that you just have documentation of what actually happened, so there's no gray area. Also, making sure you get cameras that are on continuous recording, so there's no gaps in between the moments it catches. Another must-have in your business for your storefront or warehouse is to have insurance. have general liability. I think most requirements are at least $1 million in general liability. Make sure you don't skip this step, especially in a lot of cases when you are getting a storefront or a warehouse. For the lease, you're required to have insurance, and they require proof of insurance. So I'm just letting you know the insurance I got so that and maybe it can help you in the insurance you need to get for your storefront or warehouse. So for me, I also got workman's comp insurance, not because I have a ton of employees, but it's helpful for anybody that comes to on the premises. Contractors, people are there to do temporary work. You want to make sure that you have everybody that comes on and off your property protected in case they get hurt or something happens. You'll be covered. Also, make sure you get flood insurance if you're in a flood area, because if something happens, you could be like, no, it'll be okay. It doesn't really flood. Waters are rising these days. So just make sure you check and see what area your warehouse or storefront is in and see how the water levels have risen over time, and just hedge against that by getting flood insurance if necessary, so that if even just some water comes in and just like, eats away at your desk or eats away at your kiosk or like getting water damage on those things that are on the ground, and there may be just a low level of water, you have protection and you can replace those things, because these things are most likely not going to happen, but you still want to be protected, because if they do, it could potentially just ruin all of your investment and everything that you worked for. The proper insurance, enough insurance, full coverage is definitely a must-have for having a warehouse or storefront. Next, check with your fire marshal to see if there's any materials or any things you have to refrain from adding to your space. So for me, in my warehouse, I had to check with my fire marshal to see if I was allowed to have wood racking or wire racking, because based on the area, it could be more prone to fires or whatever. I don't really know why it's so necessary, but check your area to see if it's necessary for you to have your fire marshal come and do an inspection or tell you what you can and cannot have in your space, because you don't want something to happen and then you end up being on the hook for it and not having reached out to the proper authorities to get everything squared away. So that was my 8 must-have things to do before opening your warehouse or storefront. And a bonus tidbit, so basically like number 9, is to set your morning routine. So your opening and closing routine. So whether you open in the evening or in the morning or in the afternoon, set a routine so that you know that so you have a ritual to do every time you go in and out of your space. For me, I like to make sure that first I turn my alarm off so it doesn't go off when I come inside, but I turn on my lights. I check the thermostat. I'd like to turn it up when I'm inside, and I just check to make sure nothing has fallen, everything is intact, make sure the refrigerator is stocked with snacks and water, and that everything is working and in good order so we don't have any hiccups throughout the day. And then once everything is done and I close, make sure I turn the thermostat down so we don't have an outrageous bill on the days we're not in the warehouse, and just turning off the lights and making sure everything is locked, because sometimes I may not go back to the warehouse for like 1 or 2 days in between. So I want to make sure that nothing is vulnerable while I'm gone. So that is something to do. Just having a ritual when you are an entrepreneur is good anyway, so that you keep things consistent, you keep things going and on time, because we're holding a lot of stuff in our hands and we want to make sure we drop as little things as possible. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm so happy that I got to share my top 8 must-do things before opening a warehouse / storefront with a bonus. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we upload next Thursday, which is when we upload on Thursdays. So I'm so happy again that you shared this time with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. And here's some other videos to go ahead and just see my journey so far as expanding my business in Houston and just making it bigger and better. All right. Thank you so much.